This video shows how to run a daylight simulation in Sefaira's SketchUp plugin. I'm assuming your 3D geometry is already set up. If not, see our other video on modeling for daylight analysis. The first thing to check is that your analysis mode is either set to energy and daylight or daylight analysis. If you're only interested in daylighting and not energy, the daylight-only analysis will likely run faster and be subject to fewer constraints than the energy and daylight. Let's run a simulation. The top-level daylighting results appear on the dial on the main dashboard. This indicates the percentage of floor area in your building that is either underlit, well-lit, or overlit. These numbers are based on annual daylighting metrics, which means that they're based on a full annual simulation using data from the weather file. Underlit is a spatial daylight autonomy value. Any space that receives less than 300 lux for more than 50% of occupied hours annually is considered underlit. Overlit is an annual sunlight exposure metric. Any area that receives more than 1,000 lux for more than 250 occupied hours annually is considered overlit. We'll explore these metrics further in other videos. Now let's open the daylighting visualization and dive deeper. The visualization shows the distribution of daylight across the floor plates of your model. Or, more specifically, across a work plane a certain height above each floor plate of your building, and you can control that height in this menu here. There are a number of different daylight metrics and types of analyses to choose from, including date and time, annual, over and underlit, daylight factor, and direct sunlight. And we'll go into each of those in much more detail in another video. For now, I'm going to use an annual simulation, which looks at how many hours a space gets enough light from daylighting alone, a metric known as daylight autonomy. And this is often a very good metric to use as a design tool. The view that you're seeing here mirrors the view in SketchUp. So, to change that view, you simply orbit around your model in SketchUp, and you'll see that the view in the daylight visualization changes accordingly. In the top right corner of the daylighting visualization, you'll see a number of different view controls. Here you can adjust the color scheme for the visualization, and you can change the visual style, so you can change from the gradient, which is shown here, to a grid scheme or a contour scheme. You do have to update the analysis in order for those changes to take effect. The last view control shows context, and here you can choose to show various elements of your model. For instance, you can show roofs, walls, windows, shading elements, etc., in order to customize the view that you see. When you're satisfied with this image, you can export it in a couple different ways. The first is clicking on the camera icon in the upper left corner of the screen. When you click on this, you'll be able to download an image that is identical to the view that you saw in the daylight visualization window. The other way to export this image is to export it on a floor-by-floor basis. If you hover over any floor plate, you'll see a download icon, and if you hover over that, there'll be a save option, and that will download a 2D image of the specific floor plate that you've selected. You can also use the floor control to show and hide each individual floor plate.